80% of the women in prison in Kenya are there because of brewing this illicit brew. It may not be Muratina, it may be Changa, it could have different variations, but it is still that they've been taken away from their families for brewing this, what we call illicit brew, and they're in prison. Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwangi Monday, where we discuss all things governance. And today I wanted to highlight something that I saw in social media. When I saw it, I had one reaction, then I saw somebody write something else, and then I had another reaction. And then I decided, you know what? I don't have to have all the answers and all the solutions. So we'll leave it. I'm giving it over to you. You will be the judge, you will be the jury, you will make the decisions and follow on one path. So what caught my attention was an article about a young man who has bottled Muratina in the UK, and I was like, wow, okay. That sounds interesting. I mean, I was like, why didn't we ever think about that? So I pray I don't digress too much, but it made me think of very many things that when I was in school in the UK, that we'd see things there. It's sort of the future, and we never brought them back here. So that's the first thought I had. Like, how come nobody ever thought about this? Sometimes I wonder, how come God gives some people ideas? This thing has always been around us, and nobody has thought to pick it up or to package it or to sell it, and to give it the description was amazing, How come we never thought of doing that? But I will also challenge you to always look at, if you live in a country where they're in the future, let's say in some of the continents, and it's an opportunity to bring something that you can see there and bring it back to Kenya. Because I thought, I was thinking, let me talk for myself. Like there's so much that we could have done. When I think about myself, there's so many things that we could have implemented that we saw, let's say in the UK, that we had, we had the privilege of seeing because of experience and exposure that we could have brought back here and executed in this country. And I'm sure there are many people who have, because I don't have absolute information. So that was one. So I looked at that story and I was like, wow, okay, so that's an enterprising young person to decide to do this. And then as I was scrolling through social media, I came across another post, and I thought, oh, that's also bringing a different light, because this post was saying that 80% of the women in prison, and you know how passionate I am about prison reformation, about women in prison, about men in prison. I don't think there's a day that goes by without me praying for prisoners and prison reformation and people who are in charge of policies for prison. I mean, not a single day goes by without me making that prayer. When I wake up in the morning and I have my shower, the first thing I say is that may the prisoners find water, because there's things that are very scarce, they're rare in the prison circles. So I do make that prayer. So that caught my attention, that 80% of the women in prison in Kenya are there because of brewing this illicit brew. It may not be Muratina, it may be Changa, it could have different variations, but it is still that they've been taken away from their families for brewing this, what we call illicit brew, and they're in prison. And when you imprison a woman, that I don't even understand which word I can put behind that, because that's serious disaster. Because first of all, when they imprison these women, they just pick them up off the street. So she probably left home, left maybe instructions, but she doesn't come back. And that's quite traumatic. And then these children are exposed to predators, to people who can attack them, abuse them. They are, of course, traumatized because they don't know where their mother is. So it's just not even it's not even nicely done. But then we're rewarding somebody from taking the same brew and packaging it and selling it in another country. But like I said, I felt I don't want to be judge and jury. But maybe we need to look at that. So what do we need to do? Do we need to release these women from prison? And men, because of brewing the illicit brew, do we need to, I don't know, give them sustainable business options? So that's not what they're doing. And who decides that we can reward one person for enterprise and use the same product to imprison others? maybe we decide as Kenyans. It's a challenge I'm going to throw out there. And I hope whoever is listening to me does something. We need justice, you know. I once watched a presentation on justice, and I was wondering where the presenter was going, because there was a wall, and whoever was on this side of the wall couldn't see over the wall. And then there was the next frame was the wall with like 3 stairs, so they could just see over the top of the wall. And then the next frame there was more stairs, but now they could see their head and shoulder were above the wall. And then the last one, much to my surprise, I wasn't expecting that, there was no wall. You know, that's what equity means. That's when we have justice and governance for everyone, when we have equitable justice for everybody. And we must question ourselves as a people. How do we reward illicit brew packaged in nice bottles, sold in a foreign country, and imprison people for trying to make a livelihood with the same illicit brew? Something is not right. And we need to give equity. We need to give access. We need to have a conversation around that kind of injustice. But it also leads to my famous, I guess, story and statement, which I learned from my good friend Chiza, that poverty or imprisonment in Kenya is about poverty. So I'll just leave you with that food for thought. And if you're out there and you can do something about it, please let's do something about it. Let's lobby for non-custodial sentences for women. Let's stop punishing people for trying to make a livelihood, even if it's not in the right way. And if we do it's not the right way, then let's show them the right way. And we have to stop imprisoning women and just picking them up off the street and not caring about their families, you know. I think I read somewhere once that societies are judged on how they treat their weakest. And that's not a good sign. God bless you. See you next Monday. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Please drop something in the comment section and like and subscribe the videos. Bye-bye.